Talk to us about the nuts and bolts of this ZTE deal. What do we know?
This is absolutely a lifeline for the company. They're just going to have to pay a massive fine. They'll have to change their management, and they'll also have to allow U.S. compliance officers into the company to basically monitor what is going on. Regardless of these changes, this is a huge win for ZTE. This is no longer going to cause the company to shut down. They'll be able to have access to critical key components that they need to make their telecoms gear, and it means that they're still going to be able to function. That being said, they may still have a lot of trouble and potentially lose market share in both the telecom space as well as the smartphone space. Just a month ago, we reported that key clients were pulling out of deals. They may still continue to do so as a result of these management changes. They may still be spooked out by the long-term trajectory of this company.
So let's take a listen to what other lawmakers have been saying on Capitol Hill. We have this tweet from Mark Warner. This idea of embedding a compliance team at ZTE is a nice talking point, but unless the Trump administration plans to open an FBI counter-intel field office inside the company, Beijing is about to get one heck of a deal on a back door into U.S. telecom networks. And this from Senator Marco Rubio, this quote-unquote deal with ZTE may keep them from selling to Iran and North Korea. That's good, but it will do nothing to keep us safe from corporate and national security espionage. That's dangerous. Now Congress will need to act to keep America safe from China. I assure you with 100% confidence that ZTE is a much greater national security threat than steel from Argentina or Europe. Hashtag very bad deal.
Rubio, he's been repeating the same line over and over again. And it is true that it is a nice and easy thing to say that you're going to put compliance officers into this company. But ZTE is a massive company, and it's unclear how much access these compliance officers will truly receive. There's still a lot of questions about whether or not this will be able to clamp down on the actual national security concerns. What this whole situation really shows is that the fear of lawmakers extends far beyond the singular company. It's a question of technological dominance. China wants to be technologically independent. They don't think that this situation with ZTE is going to change that, and that they'll continue the IP theft and the forced licensing agreements, and that this whole situation has done nothing to stop those greater issues.
Are there questions about other companies and their relationships with the Chinese government?
Well, just this week, there's been a lot of discussion about the types of agreement that Facebook had with different Chinese phone manufacturers. And Facebook's argument was that what we did several years ago was industry practice. There were tons of U.S. companies striking deals with hardware makers so that they could get their own software experience on various phone devices. And now we are seeing that lawmakers are responding to what Facebook said. Now they're asking questions to Twitter, to Google, asking them what sorts of agreements did you have with these hardware companies? Was that data actually stored just locally on the phones, or did it go back into the servers in China? So these deals are not new. They've been going on for many years, but we're seeing that lawmakers are really now just seriously scrutinizing these problems, even though these are not new issues.
And we are hearing that lawmakers do want more CEOs to testify on Capitol Hill. Let's talk about the future trade talks and between the United States and China. We've got this statement from Senator Chuck Schumer saying President Trump should be aiming his fire at China, but instead he inexplicably aims it at allies like Canada, Mexico, and Europe. When it comes to China, despite his tough talk, the deal with ZTE proves the president shoots just blanks. What does this mean for the trade talks that are happening right now? A potential, the Chinese government right now holds sway over a deal between Qualcomm and NXP and more.
Well, I think we saw investors actually react pretty positively to NXP as a result of this. They think that perhaps as a result of this positive deal for ZTE, China will take fewer retaliatory measures. So perhaps they will approve more deals like Qualcomm and the NXP situation. But the bigger question, as I mentioned earlier, is that so far in these trade discussions, there hasn't been a lot of resolution about what is going to be the impact of the forced licensing agreements, of the IP theft that's been happening. And these are the broader questions that have yet to be addressed. And going back to the Facebook, Twitter, Huawei issue, we are now seeing other Chinese companies get into the fray as well. In this letter that the lawmakers wrote to the companies, they also threw Tencent into the mix in partnerships with Xiaomi. So I think we still have a lot further to go in terms of what we'll see the result of this.